In this video, we'll take a look at another BatchGuru tool, Saved Search Exporter. Saved Search Exporter will export native files, images, or extracted text from Relativity to a folder on your server. Configuring Saved Search Exporter is much easier than Desktop Client and certainly much easier than integration points. Let me show you what's required. First, like any tool in BatchGuru, we'll give set a name. Then we will choose a saved search we want to use for export. Next, we're going to select what do we want to export. Do we want to include native files? Do we want to include text? Should we include images? Or lastly, we can also generate PDFs. Below that, we can choose how do we want to name native files by. And we can choose any field in a database, not just an identifier or production number. You could use MD5 hash if you'd like to. Right below that, we'll specify our export path. Now this one is a bit tricky, and you have to use a UNC path, meaning you would use // server name, /share name, / whatever folder you want to store data in. When a BatchGuru batch runs, it runs on an agent server. So whatever drives are available to an agent server, those are the ones that are accessible to BatchGuru. So if you don't have any driver letters mapped there, you will not be able to export it to a driver letter, and therefore you have to use a UNC path. If you know you have a driver letter mapped on your agent server and that's the only one you have, you can certainly try using driver letter, but I don't recommend you do that. Once you finish configuring these options, there are a few more below. We have text priority 1, 2, and 3, and this is where you set which fields BatchGuru should take extracted text. So first we can try an OCR field. If that field is blank, then we can go to extracted text as an example. On the right, we have a field called write native path to. So once the native file is exported, the path to that file will be written back into the database so you know where that file was exported. And same thing happens with text path. The text path is saved back into the documents table. Because this tool does not export that file, you will need that path in your documents table in order to generate that file later. And the way you would go about generating that file is you simply use mass operation, export to file, and you will export your either saved search or a view, and that's how you will get that file. Well, what are some of the uses and advantages of this tool? Firstly, you don't need a desktop client. That means you can use this tool on a Mac. It is faster to set up than integration points, and you can name files by any field you choose. And lastly, you can run multiple batches in BatchGuru at the same time. So if you have 1 million documents to export, you can create 10 saved searches, and you can run 10 batches in BatchGuru, and they will all run at the same time. Couple of things to keep in mind when using this tool. As I mentioned before, you do want to use UNC path. If possible, driver letters are not recommended. You want to check the agent server to make sure that driver letter is mapped there before running this tool. You want to check space before exporting, of course, to avoid crashing. And if you are using a PDF export, export will be much slower, because now it's no longer simply a copy operation from one folder to the next, but we actually have to build that PDF in memory and then save it out. So each page will get merged and exported, which is a much slower process. And that's Saved Search Exporter in BatchGuru. Thank you for watching.